I think that the JP, what it requires is a couple of things. One is decision making, and I think I've been in a position in the last 10 years of making decisions, everyday decisions that impact the state of Arizona. We deal with 1,300 bills a year in the legislature, so I've been in a discernment and decision-making mode for quite a while. I think that making those decisions, you have to decide what's best, what's the right, what's the fair thing to do. So that's a discipline that I've been involved in. And the other thing is that one of the issues is, I'll call it courtroom management for lack of a better term, judicial decor or whatever. You've got to keep things moving. You have to, because there's a pretty good sized staff that a JP has, and there's that administrative area that I have experience in, not only in the legislature but in previous life running large organizations. So I have that experience, and then in the legislature when you run committees, or I was the at one time the majority whip in the House, and I ran the caucus meetings, and you had 34 Republicans that had to keep in order and keep that process moving. So I think that is very important in a courtroom, and I have experience doing those kind of things.
My experience is all over the map, and so pretty much fits every aspect of the justice of the peace. Going back into my career, I've been a field superintendent of agencies for a very large insurance company, which is kind of like a regional vice president. I was in charge of 10 states, multiple hundreds of employees with that. So I've had a lot of experience with managing large groups. I've been a business owner, again, having experience with budgets, having experience with payroll, having experience with employee benefits. With my continuing education, again, I've had a lot of experience in taking labor law courses, just in general law courses that I've been interested in. So I've got those kinds of backgrounds. Additionally, I've got experience with, I guess you could say, mediation, dealing with groups of people in the form of having been a state committeeman as well as a precinct committee person. I've been the precinct captain, so I dealt with delegating to my precinct committee people. When a few years ago we had a state committee meeting which kind of got out of hand. There were a lot of different factions in our party, I guess, for lack of a better way to describe it. And because of my knowledge of Robert's Rules of Order, I've also been a parliamentarian, which I think understanding rules of civil procedure and understanding Robert's rules, it's kind of a similar process. And so being able to bring the meeting back to order, even though I wasn't the person in charge, but I guess you could say I have the confidence when needed to come and take charge, and I guess I have the demeanor that people were willing to follow my ability to take charge. I think the other thing is that I have very sound judgment from all of the things that I've dealt with. I think that people look at me as somebody who can look at an issue, look at all sides of an issue, understand the unintended consequences as well as the intended consequences, and that's particularly important in the insurance industry, because if you don't plan appropriately, you can leave somebody in a really bad spot. It's the same thing with the courts, whether it be dealing with a domestic violence case, whether it be dealing with the orders of protection, whether it be dealing with a search warrant. The other thing that I have is I'm a student of the Constitution. I consider myself a constitutional conservative. I've read the Constitution on a regular basis, and so that, again, I think is very important towards the job.